Hi, I'm Paige, I'm 18 and I'm currently on my gap year and just spent the last 4 months on Hamilton Island.
When you first arrived in Hamilton Island, what was so different about it?
I felt really isolated from everything because it was a small island and I didn't know anyone, so I had to venture out and figure things out on my own, which I hadn't done before.
Did you get homesick at all?
Yes, I did. It was hard not to have my own space and to be separated from my family, and I'm a twin, so I've been with my sister my whole life and now she's in the army and I was on Hamilton, so yeah, I did get homesick.
How did you find settling in with new people, living in a new space?
It was a bit difficult because I had a bit of a crazy roommate, so I had to go and couch surf for a bit. But then I got another roommate, so that was good. So yeah, that was a bit of a struggle.
Did you get along with her?
Kind of. We figured out how to live together, but it was a bit hard.
How did the overall experience benefit you as a person?
I feel like I've grown up a lot since moving there, as I was in my own space and I had to do things on my own, and I learned how to save money and earn a lot of money and have a good attitude towards work.
If you could go back and change anything from this experience, would you?
Yeah, I'd probably leave a week earlier so then I could have a different roommate, as that really would have changed the whole dynamic of my experience there, as I planned on being there for a year but only ended up staying for 4 months.
How is Hamilton Island different to life back home?
It was very different because it was a completely different life. Like back home I was doing a retail job and on Hamo I was doing housekeeping, which was also a really rough job. It was just different. Like there's no beaches back home, so you could just easily go to the beach. Everyone was there and you're friends with everyone. Everyone just wanted to hang out. It was very different.
Hi, welcome to my reflection video on my video portrait. The most problematic aspect of my piece was getting the clips of Paige in Hamilton Island that suited the overall theme and idea of the video portrait, because obviously she's not there anymore and I needed to get them right away. So we had to work with what was already there and manipulate it into the video, which is why they're all filmed portrait instead of landscape, which is not ideal for a video project, but we had to make it work. As a result, I had to put more than one clip in the frame at a time when I was overlaying them to make it more effective, instead of just having a blank background with one little portrait video in the frame. So 2 makes it a little bit crowded, but it still worked out in the end. In my opinion, the most successful part of creating this piece is how engaging it is despite the entire thing being mostly piece to camera. And this is only because due to the circumstances, I didn't have enough time to capture different locations with Paige, and we only had 2 days to film all up. So it was a bit of a time crunch, but we made it work in the end and I think it still looks really good. I think it captures the attention of the viewer despite being piece to camera, and it's actually more engaging having her right in front of you, directly speaking to her and showing her emotions, instead of just being complete overlays and you're not entirely sure what's going on with the words because there's too much going on in the actual frame. One key learning discovery I made while creating this was how effective it is to add B-roll over the top of a voiceover instead of just having it piece to camera like this. I found it can enhance the overall experience for the viewer, and I found it makes it more meaningful and relatable for the viewer as they're experiencing what the actor has as well. Specifically in my video portrait, I found that adding it right in the beginning made it more insightful for the audience and gave a deeper meaning, especially if they had never heard of Hamilton Island before and had no idea what she was talking about. Another notable thing for me was trying to manipulate what my actor was saying into an engaging storyline. As said in Directing the Documentary by Michael Rabiger, plot represents the rules of the universe, and the protagonist is often the person challenging those rules, on page 465. In my portrait, there was no distinct story structure unless you really look into it. The only part of the story structure that's actually notable for the audience is the inciting incident, but other than that, it's a bit harder for me to manipulate because it's an overall experience, not one distinct story. So, in order to have this climax effect, I had to alter the order of the clips that I recorded them in to have this effect. One core lesson I learned in the production process was handling my timing better, so I'd have more allowances for reshooting and changing camera angles and setting. If I had allowed myself more time to plan effectively, I would have changed the filming location to a beach, preferably in Melbourne because that's where we both are, and added more clips of us back in our hometown. so it would further enhance the essence of the portrait and reiterate the idea that this experience was so out of the ordinary for Paige, and it's a complete contrast from her normal life back in a small country town. This will be relevant for me in future because the most effective types of media aren't all filmed in one location and in one shot. They're broad and enticing, which I have concerns about whether I fulfilled this in my piece due to my lack of time management. This is important to me as a media producer because you need to be able to plan ahead of the shoot and get everything done according to the shot list and the concept overall.